and hello. Welcome to solo playthroughs. We're going to try to get this right this time. We're going to do an extra board playthrough with an extra special spirit. Downpour Drenches the World. You might remember my first effort with Downpour. It was my first live playthrough with the Jagged Earth Spirit. Didn't go that well, partially because of Russia, partially because I just wasn't that good with Downpour. Still might not be that great with Downpour, but I've learned a lot. As with a lot of the spirits that I have ranked fairly low in my top true solo spirits video, Downpour is definitely another one that warrants another look, and was one of the four. I mean, there were four. Again, I've said this before about the four. Lots of four. What's the four for? That there were four spirits that I was pretty universally told that I was undervaluing, and it was Keeper, it was Downpour, it was Starlight, and it was River. So again, finishing up my mea culpa tour. Don't feel as wrong yet with Downpour as I did with the other three. The other three I played again, and I was like, oh yeah, I was missing that. Downpour's got some serious skills. I think true solo, there's just a combination of things that I find to be a bit of a struggle. It's a bit of a slow start. The energy production is tough. You know, there's some tricks with Downpour that maybe I just haven't mastered yet, but definitely stronger than I would have given credence to when I made that top true solo video, and that just, again, across the board. And I think it's just, the more you play this game, the more you see how strong each of these spirits really can be. And then ranking all 24 is more of just like, you know, ranking the best players on an all-star team, right? It's just, there aren't really any terrible ones. It's just a matter of what fits your playstyle better and what fits the kind of the specific task at hand that you're trying to do. So what is the task? What is the task? Task is a tough word, I guess. What is the task I am trying to do today? Well, I am trying to play on an extra board. Never been done before, except that one time I did it and just did it really wrong. So apparently, Greg still has trouble reading rulebooks. And although this rulebook is very laid out with the rules for this challenge, I somehow just skipped this part. And I read it. At least I read it carefully from what I thought, and I just missed this game-wide rules and changes, and there's no explanation how. I don't know. I just missed it. So base the size of your blight pool on the number of island boards. So there should be 4 blight plus 1, not 2 blight plus 1. So I did that wrong. And add +1 fear marker per player to the fear pool. So that should be 5 fear instead of 4. Go me. Yes. So that Starlight... not that Starlight. The Fractured Days Split the Sky playthrough was super fun, and I had so much... I was super jazzed by that win, and I'll always have that memory. But unfortunately, yeah, that playthrough was done a wee bit wrong. It's really hard to quantify the effects of making both of those mistakes. I don't know. I mean, it just changes the game in pretty significant ways. I would have gone Blighted later. That Blighted Island card, if you remember, was quite brutal if you saw that playthrough. And it's just another reason, especially when I feature a new scenario or a new challenge to me, go back a week later and make sure I have all the rules right. I mean, there was a much more insignificant rule that I had wrong in the playthrough of Powers Long Forgotten, in that I put too many of those tokens with numbers in the pool. So there should have probably been less numbers. But in the true solo game, especially trying to get this video up, I'm glad we got to see, I think we got 3 of those powers come to life during that playthrough, and it ended up being a pretty wild playthrough as well. So it just, changes the, it's kind of like a house rule, right? It just made it a little bit harder, a little bit swingier. Now, had I gotten the spirit benefits of those powers I've forgotten, it would have made it a little bit easier, but I was playing with the spirit where that really wasn't on the table as much, right? So look, we're going to do the extra board playthrough with Downpour. I'm super excited about it. We're going against the Kingdom of Scotland. Now, Scotland's going to make this a bit of a doozy. Why? Well, when Scotland explores in the coast, remember, it puts a town. Yikes. So Downpour is going to need to take use of all of its isolate mechanics, and we're going to have to make use of the way it can move presence around pretty wildly with its presence board, and I'm going to have an opening that hopefully will do the trick, and we'll have to adjust on the fly if it comes to that. So let's get this set up. We're going to do, well, in full disclosure, because I just want to be honest with you guys. So I did one practice run of this. I thought I won, and then I realized I was using pour down power across the island on a non-land targeting power card. I was using it on a spirit targeting power card. That was a little cheaty, and I didn't realize it until the first time I tried to film this. Got halfway through and realized I was doing the same thing, and tried to salvage it, and then it was just becoming an utter disaster. And I was like, you know what? This is not going to be worth the amount of effort it's going to take to edit. We're just going to start over, because is what it is. It's just better. It's better. So if you want to log that as a loss off camera, I'm fine with that. Let's try to log a win here, and we're going to roll this. I rolled a 5. So we have the main board of E. Here is E. So E is a little rough because we don't have, again, a lot of Downpour's powers like to use a target from wetland. So we're going to probably want to make a sacred site here, and then we'll have a wetland, again, with Drench the Landscape. We'll have a wetland adjacent to all 3 of those coastal lands, because the coastal lands are going to get brutal. And then the bonus board, what is it? It is B. So from top to bottom, we have B. Be all that you can be. And I'm going to resist the urge to make some buzzing sounds, because I'm not that corny. I mean, we all know I am, but that's fine. So B, we're going to E, B, how much easier can it get than that? So we're going to do a city here because of Scotland's rules, another city there. Remember, we're not going to do anything on the top board except for 3 things: Blight, Dahan, and then the starting tokens. So the 1 wilds and the 1 disease. So speaking of those, I'll put the disease there. I'll put the disease there. We are going to have 1 presence in the lowest numbered wetland. That's all we get. That's all you get, Downpour, you double-headed dragon bird, you thing. Because that's all he needs. That's all he, she, whatever. That's all they need, is that 1 presence. From there, they will grow into the beast that we know they are. All right, I'm moving that off the board. And we're going to get the 2 beasts. The 1 beast goes in the lowest numbered land without a pre-printed setup icon. That is 6 on board E. And then we have 1 in 5 on board B. We're going to get a Blight in 4 on both lands. And that's it. That board is set, except for the Dahan. I got to stop doing that. The Dahan. Bam. So, Dahan rolling everywhere. We got the Wetlands Dahan on both boards. We're going to do the Jungle Dahan, the Mountain Dahan on both boards. The Jungle Dahan on both boards. And then we need the Sans Dahan. Sans Han on both boards. Nope, that looks wrong. Yep, no, that's right. 4, 4. Cool. Cool. My eyes played a little bit of a trick on me. A wee bit of a trick. Done. All right, now we need 1 town, and it's going to go in board 7. And we're good. So let's set the invader deck. So I'm going to shuffle these. Going to roll D6. I roll 3. So again, I'm doing it on level 3, not level 4. I thought about level 4. I just think that's a challenge that's a wee bit beyond my skill level. And I don't know why I've used anything twice, but we're going to go with it. So yeah, I think it's doable. I just don't think it's doable enough to justify attempting it on camera here. So we're going to... we're going to take the easy route, folks. Easy, yeah. Chance of me, again, I like to play playthroughs where I feel like I'm probably somewhere between 50 to 60, 50 to 70% to win. I don't play 10 games and see that, right? So just a rough estimate of where I think it's going to be a close game either way for me, right? So I rolled that. 1, 2. The coastal lands go on top of that. So again, we're setting this deck up as per the terms of Scotland level 2. And the Scotland level 3 enhancement says that if there's ever a city adjacent and a coastal land has to build, it will build even if the coastal land where it's building has no structures at all or no invaders at all. So right, so they say there's no invaders in 3, but jungles are supposed to build because there's a town in mountains we will build a town. Because there's a city in mountains, we will build a town in that jungle. So it has to be a city, and it could be a city anywhere. So it doesn't have to be a coastal city. It could be a city in land 4 or land 4 on the other board even. And if it's supposed to build in jungles, and even if that wasn't there, we would build a town in 3. So hopefully that made a wee bit of sense. Again, there we go. There's that word. It's popping up. It's an epidemic. Oh, probably shouldn't make epidemic jokes ever again. All right, so 1, 1, 1. I'm going to roll this again. I'm going to take the first one off. So we have 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. Coastal lands card, 2, and then the 5 3s. If I was doing level 4, we would just take one of these level 3s, and we would take this last level 1 card out, and we put one of the level 3s there in its stead. definitely ups the difficulty, and just thought that would be, again, a little bit more than I was looking to take on with my fearless friend, the double-headed dragon, Downpour Drenches the World. Right. All right, let's shuffle the power cards. We have the minor power. So I think playing Scotland's interesting for a couple reasons on two boards. Remember the additional loss condition. So additional loss condition in a true solo game is easy if you're not playing with an extra board. It's basically if there's a town on all three coastal lands, you lose. In a double board game, there you lose if there is a town. If there, I'm sorry, not a town, a city. I keep saying town when I mean city. If there's a city on all three coastal lands in a true solo game, you lose. If there is a city on 5 of the 6 coastal lands, if you're playing on the non-thematic boards, if there's a city on 5 of the 6 coastal lands, then you lose. So it's a number of boards times 2. You could have up to that. If you add one more, then that's the additional loss condition, and game over. And then the escalation, the board that has the most, on the single board with the most coastal towns and cities, you're going to add a town to N lands, with N being the number of players. So it's 1 player. So we would add one town onto a board, and that should be on this board. If it's on that board, something probably went very wrong. So, because we are going to do our darndest to prevent anything from happening on board B. All right, and we'll see if we can succeed on that, and hopefully the power cards we get will help, giving us some ability to control those towns up there as they settle on the coast, because these crazy explorers, they don't just come off the ship with a person, they come off the ship with a fully formed town. It's impressive. All right, I need to shuffle up the fear cards. All right, we're gonna have a fear deck, which is 4-5-4. Level 4 would be 5-5-4, so 4-5-4 is significantly different. And with that extra fear in the blight pool, right? I mean, we need 20 fear to get up to level 2, which is a lot more difficult than getting up to just that 16, right? So that extra fear does make a pretty substantial difference, but it makes more sense. I mean, with more invaders, there's more opportunity for fear to be caused, and you have like those event cards or those fear cards that do things that, on each board, move a beast, and if there's an invader there, generate a fear, right? That kind of stuff can really add up a little quicker when you're playing with this extra board. So it makes sense to me. I'm going to, 4, the Terra level 2 divider, 5, Terra level 3 divider, and 4. That's done. And set, we're going to shuffle up the event cards. I will say, I've grown an increasing disgust for the event card that it's, what is it? It was in my one I tried to film. It was like when things just started to go really bad, and I was like, man, I made a couple of rules mistakes, and it's just not worth trying to salvage this. But it was the one where it's like you have to add a blight unless you want to pay energy equal to the amount of cards in the discard pile, and you can't, like, it's not aided by anything. I freaking hate that card, man. It's so bad. And it's especially bad with the extra board because it is 1 blight per board, not 1 blight per player or per spirit. So it's like, whoa, it's like 2 blight. It can make a huge difference. But again, I think that's why, again, just like they had to balance the fear pool, they balanced the healthy island cards as well, and the blight cards on the corresponding blight cards. Because again, the 2 boards, that when you flip it, you're going to put twice the number of blight as well. Even though it says per player, it really should read per board. Great. So I'm going to roll my d20 to figure out which one of these I have. Bam, I rolled 15. So there's 16 cards here, so I'm going to go the second from the top, and we're going to put 5 blight on that. 1 blight, 2 blight, 3 blight, 4, and Eric Royce loves us. Thank you. That's going to go there. You notice I have the 4 element tokens there. So these are the 4 elements I'm going to be mostly dealing with as Downpour. So those are the ones I want to have ready so I can use my trusty dice. Yes, I have more dice than I need, but who doesn't like too many dice? I almost said too many bones. Clearly, I've been playing that a lot. Right. Anyway, coming back to the regularly scheduled program. So I do have a bunch of tokens here. So why do I have 3 rows of colors beyond the fact that I want to have like a cheerleading squad of tokens for Downpour that matches Downpour's, incredibly svelte uniform over here. Well, look, I don't know if I'm using svelte right there. Probably not. But we have the 6 reminder tokens that are for the yellow presence. Then we have these 5. I use these 5 for the special rule of pour down power across the island. Helps me keep track of how many times I can repeat a power or get an energy. And then, again, make sure it's a land targeting power, Greg. All right, thanks. And then I have these 3 tokens which I use to make sure, keep track of how many times I can move a presence. Remember, I can move a presence twice because of abilities on the bottom track. And then if I ever do growth option A, which I will be doing a fair amount, actually, we will be having the ability to move a presence with the growth option A as well. All right, so what do I use these tokens just as like a visual, because again, there's so much weird stuff that happens with the ocean or coastal lands with Scotland. I just use that as a visual cue to hopefully give me one more barrier between me and making rules mistakes. Again, you play these high complexity characters and you play them in highly complex scenarios. Sometimes mistakes happen, but I really, really do try to keep them to a minimum. So hopefully we will go forward and reach for the perfect playthrough. One of these days we will attain it. Again, notice we're not adding anything on board B other than what I've already put out there. We have the 2 cities in the town, and we're going to do the initial explore. We do not initially explore into board B, and we pull jungles. So jungles, we're going to get an explorer in 3. That is not going to be a town yet because that rule for adding a town instead of explorer is after setup. This is the final part of setup. And we get an explorer in land 7. So it's a little rough because what that means is we're guaranteed to have either wetlands, mountains, or sands come up in this card, right? And so we're definitely going to have a town on board B right off the bat, and that's not great. So we're going to have to deal with that. So we will. All right, I am going to place a presence. I'm only gonna have 1 energy, and I'm only playing 1 card. How gambly do I want to be? Well, I can do a couple of things here. So I'm gonna do growth option C. I'm gonna gain a power card. Let me see what I got, what I'm working with, and I'm pretty much almost entirely looking for water. I only got 1 water. It's a defend 4. That's gonna work very well in land 3 next turn. I don't need to see anything else. Bye-bye. Thank you for your service. Confounding Mist. I'm sure someone's going to look at the other one of those cards and saw it. It's like, you should have taken that other card. No, that is what it is. I'm taking Confounding Mist. Deal with it. Great. So, sometimes I sound like a jerk, and I'm sorry. All right, we're going to get 1 energy because of growth option C, and we're going to get 1 energy because of the presence track. I do have to add a presence as part of growth option C, and I think. So I can add a presence 3-way. I'm going to add a presence 1, 2, 3 up in 1, and then I'm going to use this move a presence ability. So I have 1 of those. I'm going to move that sucker into. This is going to blight. Hello, land 7. You're going to blight. All right, great. This is going to go here. All right, and you'll see how I'm going to work that. I mean, ultimately, if the Explorer's Mountains, it's not going to build a city. If the Explorer's 1, I can just destroy it. If the Explorer's 3 and it builds a city, I can defend 4 there with Confounding Mist, and we'll have some options. And then I can actually destroy the town in 3. So, I think that makes the most sense. And I'm going to play Foundation Sink into the Mud. And Foundation Sink into the Mud, it does 2 damage to a town. Or if it's a wetlands, you can do 1 damage to each town and city. So you can basically spend 3 energy and 2 of these to actually destroy all the structures in a land. I mean, it's really, really strong. But the flexibility, I mean, still works against a town, even in a non-wetland, and that is super, super cool. So, again, I say wetland, so if I had a sacred site there, that's a wetland, but it's just still a jungle for now. I have not drenched that part of the world just yet. All right, so we're gonna go to the invader actions because I have no fast powers, and then we're going to flip that over. It's outpaced. We don't need to deal with that because we are using the Jagged Earth rules where we just ignore that first event. We have no fear chords to resolve, no kidding, and then we're gonna do the build action. Where am I building? Well, I'm building in land 7. Hello, first blight on the board, and I'm building in land 3. We're exploring. Where are we exploring? Into wetlands. The gamble worked, kids. All right, so we're going to get 1 explorer into land 4, and we get a town into land 1. And I look like a genius right off the bat because the invader cards advance. What am I going to do? 2 damage to a town. Boom. That's done. So that's a wetlands either way, right? I don't have a sacred site, but it's still a wetland. So it's a non-wet wetlands. It's a non-drenched wetlands. I'm about to drench it at some point during this game. But anyway, I destroyed that. I develop. I generate a fear. Life is good. Clean living, kids. And now we go to the growth phase again. So I'm going to take this off. And what are we going to do? I'm going to do growth option 3. And I'm going to get myself up to 2 card plays. Now I'm going to need to discard 2 cards to get there. But it will work. And how many waters am I going to have? Well, all my cards have water because I did it that way. So I'm going to have 5 waters, 2 from that 1 plus the 1 each from the 2 cards I have. And we know that for sure. So I might not even need to use that defend 4 there. Let me see. But I still have to add these 2 presents. So let me kind of reverse engineer this hand. I know I'm going to have 1 energy from the presence track. So let me take that so I can get a good look there. I'm playing 2 of these and discarding the other 2. Yeah, I do want to defend 4. I mean, again, I have the random mud suppress conflict, but remember with that, the downside is that it also reduces Dahan counterattack, and I really want those Dahan just to do their thing, man, to do their thing. I can isolate a target land. So we know that the next card is going to be it's a stage 2 card. So I have no idea where it's going to be. These guys are going to be wiped out, or at least should be. So I don't have to worry about there being any adjacency to 4 or 7. So we're just still worried about 1, 2, and 3 on that board. It might not be the craziest thing. Well, I mean, it's hard to predict what that is. We know it's not coastal lands, right? So at least we know that. We just don't know what it's going to be. Don't know what it's going to be. We definitely don't want to get a city here. So I probably want to isolate this land and have that not build. So that's only ravaging 6. I mean, I could get a presence in there and just defend that 6. I won't. If I make it a wetland, I could actually isolate it. And then it won't have anywhere to... Oh, that's nice. That's an idea. Once in a while I have an idea. Look, so I'm going to put 2 presents and 7. So that's now a wetland. I can still move 1. And I want to put 1 presence... Oh, well, that could work for that too. I'm going to move 1 presence into land with a move of presence. I'm going to move this presence into... I'll just move it into 4. Just kind of back it up a little bit. And if I put another presence in there, I'll have a sacred site there. So that'll give me adjacency to everything with the wetland. So it'd be pretty nice. And then I'm going to play I have to play Confounding Mist too, don't I? I want to play 3 cards. Let me play 3 cards. 5. I do have 5 waters. Or by 2. I don't hate that. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm not going to play Confounding Mist. I am going to play Dark Skies, Loose a Stinging Rain. So I have 5 water, so I get 2 of these things for pour down across the island. So it's 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Rounded down is 2. Great. Advanced math. I'm going to put this energy here, and let's do my element check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, these 2 cards get discarded. That's part of the growth option. So 5 water. I have 1 sky. I mean, I have 2 sky. I only need 1, but I'll put the 2 here, and then I have the 1 earth. What does that give me? It gives me the top 2 levels of rain and mud suppress conflict. Oh, so I wouldn't even need to... Oh, that's nice. That's nice. All right, so how does this work? So these stack. So each of my presence in all my lands, I'm going to target myself. Each of my presence in all my lands grants 1 defend, but also reduces the Han counterattack. So this is defending 2 in 7, defending 2 in 3, right? I'm going to act like I don't have the... Yeah, this is better. I'm going to act like I don't have the 5 water. So I'm not going to do Terra level 2. I'm totally allowed to do that. I only need to defend 2 there. And then I'm going to do 1 fear, push 2 Dahan. So I'm targeting land 7, defend 3. So my total defend there is 5. And they're separate powers. So I'm going to do it that way. And then since it is a wetland, because of that, I actually get to isolate it. So that's done. All right, so then because this is a wetland, I'm going to have a presence in a wetland. I'm going to target land 4 again, wetland because of my sacred site. I'm going to target land 4. I'm going to isolate land 4, and I get to push up to 1 explorer and up to 2 Dahan. I'll move this explorer into land. Nope. I'll move it into land 5. That seems best. And I can do it 2 more. I can do that 2 more times. The problem is I don't have a great place to do it. I guess I could isolate. If I repeated that power for the cost of 1 energy, I could isolate one, and I could prevent the exploration of a town if it were to be sands. But I mean, it's like a 20, well, it's a 25% chance that it's sands, right? Like, how lucky do you feel, Greg? How lucky do you feel? So I have no, this is my only wetland, so I'd have to target that power again from the wetland. The alternative is I can really make sure that there's, well, it's only attacking 6 and defending 5. Yeah, if I get unlucky, I get unlucky. Oh, wait, this is only attack. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. I am not going to pretend like I have 5. I'm going to pretend I'm going to have less than 5. I'm going to have all 5. This is only defending 1. This is only defending 2. Now with the 5, each of my presence grants an additional damage. And now this is defending 4 from my rain and mud suppressed conflict. This is suppressing 2. I forgot they had disparate amounts of presence. So this is tied to the amount of presence. So since I have both levels, this one presence is defend 2. And since I have both levels, each of these presences defend 2. They stack, so that's defend 4. So it's a defend 7 total. Perfect. So I guess the real question is it worth me trying to do this one more time? And if I do it, where the heck am I doing it? I don't know. It comes in with a town. I mean, if another explorer there isn't the worst. Yeah, why not? Let's try to make things a little easier for ourselves. I think it was worth the risk. So I'm going to use this power one more time by paying for it. It's a land targeting power. Targeting from land 7, which is a wetland because of my special rules. I'm targeting land 1. I'm going to isolate land 1. I can push up to 2 Dahan. I would love to push this Dahan. I'll push this Dahan into land 5. Join those suckers up. Then I'm going to use this last power. Since I have no other powers I want to use this turn, I'm just going to use that. I can use a fast or slow phase. I'm just going to use that for 1 energy because I like energy. All right, so pretty effective turn. I think we'll see how it plays out. We're going to go now to the event card, Thriving Trade. Oh, well, okay. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing considering I'm playing with Downpour. So, Thriving Trade. On each board, add a city to a coastal land with a city. Bam. So that doesn't apply on board B because board B is super clean, kids. That's what we're talking about. So we don't have to worry about that there. But it's add a city to a coastal land with city. And then pestilence arrives on canvas sails. Add a disease on each board. So we're adding 2 disease, 1 on each board. Add a disease to a coastal land with the most cities or towns. 3 damage to Dahan. And it's minimum 1. So I can only do this on board E again. So we're putting a disease there, which frankly isn't terrible. There are no Dahan there to injure. And then we're going to do Clever Cooperation. Each spirit may push 1 of their presence from a land with Dahan. 2 damage in the land. Push 2. I may. I do not. If I move that there, I lose the defend 2. So that is not a thing that's going to happen. So glad it said may. Sometimes it doesn't. So I'll take it when it does. So we're ravaging. We're defended here. That comes off. We're ravaging. Defended here. Dahan injured. They retaliate. Now the retaliate would be 4. It's reduced by 2 because of rain and mud suppressed conflict. So we only do 2 damage, but that's enough to wipe out that town. So that gives us 3 fear in our generated fear pool. And now we move on. So what are we doing? We're building. Well, we are nothing to build there, nothing to build there, nothing to build there, nothing to build there. That's coastal, but there is not an adjacent city. So we're good on all accounts there. And now we're exploring into jungles. Not bad. That's actually a really good card for us. Again, getting lucky. The jungle, well, this wasn't so lucky. That's super lucky. So first we're going to do the escalation. Escalator just always, I feel like I'm in a mall whenever I say that. So on each board with the most cities and towns, coastal cities and towns, obviously that is board E, like it should be. We get to place a town in a land with the fewest number of cities and towns. Well, that is going to be land F. That's going to be, it's going to be 0. I don't know why I said land F. There is no land F. I mean, there is land F. It's just not in play. I'm just going nuts. So we're going to put this in either 1, 5. It's the fewest number of towns. Oh, yeah. There are no towns in 2. Bam. That's a beautiful thing. That goes right there. Now we're exploring. We're isolated in 7, so we're not exploring there. No source for 4. No source for 8. We are going to explore to 3, and we have to explore in there with a town. Boom. That was cool. So that's nice. We're gonna beta cards are gonna advance. It's going too smoothly. Something bad's about to happen. It's just the way this goes. So I'm gonna take my cards back, get all my plentiful isolate tokens off the board. We'll see what's going on. This defend die can come off the board as well. Great. What's ravaging? Wetlands. What's in wetlands? Absolutely nothing. That's just crazy. All right, what's building? Well, not that. And then we know we have one more, 2, and we know it's going to match one of those lands. So I'm going to reclaim my cards. I gain a power card, and I'm going to get the ability to move 2 presence this turn, 1 because of the growth option and 1 because of the card plays. I'm going to get another minor power, looking for... That's a problem. No water. Give me... Oh, there's no water. Well, I mean, Veils of Night's Hunt isn't terrible, but I have 2 card play. I guess I can play a card without a water hex this turn. It's not going to matter because I'll just have 2 anyway, because I'll have 2 or 3. So since I don't have any more waters opened. So the way I like to play Downpour, right? It's you start with 4 cards. I gain a power card. So I play 1 card, then 2 cards, but discard 2. I get another card here, so that gives me 6 cards. So I can play 2 cards, play 2, discard 2. I get it. So I want to go, I'm basically putting out 2 presents every other turn. I don't do growth option C much after that first turn of the game. Push 1 per done. Now remember, even if I move this sucker off, it's still building a city. Or a town, because it's adjacent to a city. But I don't really hate that. If I load up land 2, I'm planning to just destroy everything there. Not that far from now. Probably next turn, to be honest with you. I do want to isolate this again, and I'll probably isolate that, which will put me in a good spot. So the question is, what's better, Call to Isolation or Veil the Night's Hunt? I actually think Call to Isolation has a bit of an edge here because it's free, and each Dahan dealing 1 damage to a different Devader isn't exactly what I'm looking for right now. This has a better range, but I'm pretty much all over the place anyway. Territorial Strife, 3 damage to towns or explorers in a land with the cities. Interesting, add a strife, but just none of the elements I want. Unquenchable Flames, 1 fear, 1 damage to a town or a city. Invaders do not heal damage at the end of the turn. Oh, that's really intriguing. Because then, if there's just 1 city, I can do this power. Just have to do it twice, and then it gives me just that 1 damage. I could actually wipe out in land 7 this turn. That'd be pretty nuts. That'd be pretty nuts. I can defend 4 on land 3 next turn with Confounding Mists. Look at my energy situation. So I'm only getting 1 energy from the presence track, so I'd have 2 energy. Yes, no, I'm not going to be able to afford it. Unquenchable Flames is intriguing. It's really, really intriguing. But I don't think it makes much sense. I think I do Call to Isolation. I have Foundation Sinks into Mud for next turn. I save as much energy as I can. And I'm going to play that. And I'm going to do some Isolation again this turn. Alright. So I am going to move 2 presents. 1 I can move range 2, 1 I can move range 1. This is going to cost 1. I have 1 energy here. And again, with Downpour especially, I find that the presence phase and the growth phase kind of merge a lot more than with most spirits, because you're really, like, what cards you're discarding are dependent on what card you're playing. So you really need to think through your entire turn pretty systematically to get a true sense of what you're looking to do. All right, I'm going to move 1 presence here. That's fine. And then I'm going to, I mean, am I going to be lucky enough to get Jungle Wetlands, Jungle Wetlands? Remember, this is a stage 2 card, then a stage 1 card, then Coastal Land. So that's always in the back of my head as well. I'm going to move this presence from, I don't need this here. Call to Isolation. No, I want to play it on the turn where I'm going to have only 2. So I only have 2. I know I'm only going to have 2 water here. I'm going to have 1. So yeah, but I don't need Rain and Mud Suppress Conflict at all. But there is potentially some utility in doing this twice again. Or no, last time I did the damage 2, never mind. There's some utility in isolating 1 in case it is wetlands. I probably should isolate 3. So I'm going to do a move a presence. I'm going to move a presence So I'm not going to move a presence. I'm going to be able to add two presents next turn. I'm not going to move presents. So I'm going to move this town into land 2. And then I'm going to, with call it isolation, move one per. So I have to move both. There's 2 Dahans. I have to move both. It's not up to. It's move both. Do I even need to isolate then? I got a better idea. I'm not going to play Dark Skies, Loose a Rain. Yeah, I'm not going to play that. I'm actually going to play Unbearable Deluge. This is better. So I'm gonna leave that presence there, and I'm gonna move this presence here. And now I'm gonna do Unbearable Deluge, and I have 2 waters, right? So I got one of these suckers. And I didn't spend any money, which is even better. I'm gonna get 1 fear, do a defend 3 into land 1, and because that is a wetland, that's isolated. So if wetland comes up again, it's just gonna be quadruple isolated, and I'm gonna get 1 fear because I'm doing it again. Paying its cost is 0. And now I have a fear card, which is great, pushing any Dahan, there are none, and we get another isolate. So, but there will be a source again. There will be a source because it's building, and it's gonna build because it's adjacent to a coastal city. Yeah, let me move this back, and we'll put the isolate token here. Oh, I'll prevent the build that way. That's even better. But it's not a wetland. So then I'll move the 1 in here. So yeah, my presence started. I definitely have 1 there. I think I have 1 there. So I just moved 1 presence from here to here to make that a wetland, and it's defending 3. I have to push these 2 Dahan. I'm going to push these Dahan into land 5, and I'm totally cutting off the adjacency with 2, so it won't build. Yeah, that's totally right place. So I have 4 presents on the board. They all happen to be. They all happen to be in jungle, and that makes it 2 wetlands because of my special rule. And because it's wetlands, I get to isolate 3, I get to isolate 7, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, that worked out really well. And actually, it's funny because I was like, oh, I don't want to have to push both. I was like, oh wait, never mind. I had to push both, and no, never mind. It's just funny, you just have to reason these things out. So hopefully people are able to track my thought process. I don't always keep my thought process in these videos. We'll be interested to see if I keep this one in, but it is what it is. All right, external processors, man. We make the world a very confusing place. So that's done. Those are my fast powers. I have no slow powers. I'm obviously ignoring rain and mud suppress conflict because there's the 1 in, well, I don't even have it. I only have 2 waters. So it is what it is. Dunskies. And I get that fear card, which is nice. So definitely not how I originally planned that, but I think it's better. We'll see how it works. Graduate. Oh, this is the one. This is the one I hate. It's not bad early, so okay. It's not great right now, but it's not. Add 1 blight to so on each board. Add 1 blight to a land with towns or cities. Oh, it doesn't actually follow there, so maybe I just do it. Spirits may prevent this on any all boards by paying X energy per board to protect. Rex the number of cards in evader discard is only 1. So fine, I will spend 1 energy to not put a blight on land 2, and I don't have to do anything on land on board B to protect board B to protect board E, and otherwise I would have had to put a blight on land 2. So I got ahead of myself there, and I'm not gonna have to pay anything on board B because there are no lands with towns or cities. Great. Fatalities rise in each land with disease. 1 damage to each invader and 1 damage to each Dahan. Remove 1 disease from each land where this destroys any towns or cities. So I'm just going to destroy these 2 explorers. Oh, wait, 1 damage to each invader? I mean, that's just super annoying. So they're all injured. Fatalities rise. So all the Dahan are injured. I really shouldn't even bother with this, but I'm going to do it for the sake of thoroughness, kids. And especially the fear card might change something. And I'm like, oh, I gotta figure it out now. All right. That's how I talk. So 1 damage to each invader and 1 damage to each Dahan. It didn't destroy any towns or cities, so it doesn't have any effect as far as having to remove the disease. Great. Blessings of bounty and health. Each spirit may add 1 Dahan to one of its lands with Dahan, and that is each spirit, not each board. So I get to add 1 Dahan to one of my lands with Dahan. I keep pushing my Dahan away. This pushed my Dahan. So I don't have any lands with Dahan. So I had to get no new Dahan. Fear card. Bam. Terror level 1. Each player removes 1 explorer from a land with depart the dangerous land. Well, they already departed the dangerous land. Removes 1 explorer from a land with beast, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. There are only 1 explorer left on the board. and he's presently chilling. So invader steps, ravage, 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 ravage. We're good. Build, 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 build. We do get a town in land 7. Nothing in land 3. It's a coastal land, but it's isolated. Nothing in land 4. Nothing in land 8. Sands. All right. So we're now going to do the escalation. I'm adding a town to a land with the fewest number of towns. I will add this town to 5. I think that makes sense. Yeah, because I know the jungle, the stage 1 card that's after this is either going to be mountain or sands. It's all it could be. And then we're going to explore. We explore into land 1, and we explore into land 3. Invader cards advance. Oh, there's, before the step, there was no source to 6, and before this, because this is isolated, and before the step, there was no source to 5.
Oh, Downpour, you crafty little double-headed dragon with feathers.
Awesome. We are now going to the growth phase. What am I doing? Well, I'm doing growth option 2. So I'm going to get these off the board, and I'm going to do top track. So I get a water and a plant. I'm going to get this defend off the board, make this all neat for y'all. No isolate, and that's fine. So these 2 presents are coming on the board. I'm going to get 2 waters. I'm totally get 2 card plays. I'm going to have 6 water hexes again. So kind of doing this, meshing this together because it's just easier for my brain to figure it out. I get 3 of those suckers. I'm going to play 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Remember, I have a plant. So if I get a second plant on here, that's going to give me some energy. So I get 2 presents on the board. I can move 2 presents, and I could get the point. I can get the ability to repeat a power 3 times. So what I really want is to get a wetland in here, and that's going to build a city. That's going to build a city. This is getting interesting. And I'm going to want, so this the defending 4 with confounding mist is totally pointless. I think I let a blight hit the land. I think it's still going to be important to isolate that, and I'll probably want to isolate something else too. Question is, will I have the energy to do what I want to do if I do that? I'm only getting 1 more energy from the presence track, and I don't think that's enough. So yeah, we're gonna get a little bit risky here with the isolate, or lack of isolate. A fear card could have been better. Not gonna lie. So I do have the 2 energy to pay that, fortunately, and I'm gonna discard 2 cards. So I know I can pay for these 2 things. Let me figure out where I'm moving presence to and where. And again, I discarded 2 cards as part of the growth option. I'm gonna put a presence. Oh, that's nice. I can both can go range 2. I'm going to put a presence in 3. I'm going to put a presence in, oh, never mind. I have to put 2 presents in. Oh yeah, I put the 2 presents in 2 from the growth option. I'm going to move 1 presence, and I'm only moving 1 presence. Never mind. That's right. I'm only moving 1 presence. I'm going to move this presence from 3 into 3 on board E into 3 on board B. Yes. So then I'm going to, let me do the rest of my elements. I have 1 air. I have 6 water, like I already said. I have 1 earth, and I have 2 plant. Beautiful. So that gives me the top 2 levels of water nourishes life's growth, and that gives me the top 2 levels of rain and mud suppress conflict. I'm going to lose a presence in 7, but that's fine. Yeah, it could be worse. So I'm going to, what's that going to make me do? That gives me a defend 4 in land 7 because of rain and mud suppress conflict. There's no counterattack there, so that doesn't need to worry about it. There's no other thing with ravaging. Oh, these should have all healed. I told you there's ways of time to flip these suckers. It's like, what's this? This is going to be a total waste of time. And it was. Doop, doop, doop. Done. And I'm going to target land. It doesn't matter where I target it. So I'm going to target a land where I'll target land 2. I'm going to gain an energy, not a fear. And then I'm going to gain another energy. I can gather up to 1 Dahan. I don't want to. I'm going to leave the 4 Dahan where they are. They're very comfy there. And it has to be a land with presence. So that is what it is. That's fine. Yeah, there's no point gathering a Dahan anywhere else. Yeah, they're ravaging 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in land 7. So, that's a thing. Cool. We're going to do the event card. What have we got? Oh, wait. I forgot to do this. Gift of Abundance. I can either Gain 2 energy, or repeat up 1 power card this turn by paying its cost. So that could be, that doesn't have to be a land targeting power. That could be any power. Or I can put one of my destroy presence on a wetland where I have presence. So that does, I don't have any destroy presence, so I'm just going to gain the 2 energy, which is even better and gives you some more options with foundations sink into the mud for sure. Then let me actually move, well, no, I moved the presence from there to there. So this is where my presence has to be. I can only move 1. Correct. Now we look at the event card.
I said, I'm forgetting something. Well, I'm forgetting something.
Well, good I have that energy, I guess. So, the sacred sites are under threat. Invaders have begun to find hidden places of natural power. It's a bad card for this point in the game. That is for sure. So, I can guard the sacred sites. So, I can let the island site restrain the pulse them. I remove 1 blight from the blight card, returning it to the box, and then I push 1 town or explorer to an adjacent city or adjacent land, or I guard them myself so I don't remove a blight. I could do 2 damage, but I have to spend 3 energy, or I just destroy 1 presence from each spirit. Not great. Not great. Each spirit at least 4 to hang on its lands. Not me. These beasts generate the fear if invaders are present. So yeah, the rest of this card is not doing anything for me. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for me to spend the 3 energy to do 2 damage on land 7. Because then it's still ravaging 6 and I'm only defended 4. So that's not worth it. I don't really feel like destroying a presence though. I'd have to destroy 2, and if this no longer is a wetland, then that's a problem too. So I'm gonna let the island strength pulse down. I'm gonna remove the blight. That's the extra blight we never had before, so thank you, Eric. And now I remove, so it's 1 blight per player, and I push, each sacred site pushes 1 explorer or town to an adjacent land. I'm going to push this explorer into land 5, and I'm going to push this town also into land 5. Just think that's the neatest way to handle that card. All right, sacred sites under threat goes away. We're going to now do, I have no fear cards. We're going to do a ravage action. We're adding a blight, burp, destroying my first presence of the game. That defend die come off. None of the other jungles are ravaging. We're building a city in land 3, and we're building a city in land 1, and then we're exploring sands. We're building, and that's not awful, right? Because there's still no source there. We get another town in 3. We get a town in 1. We get a explorer in 6.
Where there's a beastie.
Oh, by the way, each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present. All right, so I did have to move the beast. This beast should move. He'll move to the jungles, because what beast doesn't want to be in the jungles? And this dude's going to move to the jungles as well, because that's
their home. That's where they belong.
All right, invader cards are going to advance. Now we're going to carry out. So sands are a popular place, kids. Yikes. I think we could do something with that, but we'll find out. So I'm going to do foundation sinking into the muds. I'm going to mud. I'm going to repeat that twice. So we're going to spend 1 each time, and there's those 2 tokens to indicate I repeated it twice. I'm basically doing 3 damage. This is a wetland because of my powers, because it's a sacred site. I'm wiping out all 3 of these cities and that town. So that's a total of 7 fear. So that's a fear card with a remainder of 2. Now, do I want to do that power again, or do I just want to get the energy? I want to do that power again, and I'll tell you why, because of land 3. It's just going to make some sense. And yeah, so we're going to do that 1 more time. This is going to blight. I'm fine with that, but I'm going to try to wipe this sucker out. So I'm going to do 2 damage to a town there. So it's not a wetland, so I can't do 1 damage to each, but I can do 2 damage to 1 town, and I have presence there. So that's there, and that's another fear. Foundation, sink into the mud, fall the wind. These come off. I'm going to be reclaiming my cards, obviously. I will have 2 movement again next turn. The ability to move 2 presence next turn. Now this round, let's do the math. I have 6 power cards. I'm going to gain a power card that's going to give me 7. So I can play 2. I'm going to be able to get these off, discard 2, and play 3. It's a nice little cycle you can get into with Downpour. All right, so I'm gaining a power card. I still should get a minor because I want all 7 cards, and then we'll start worrying about getting a major at some point. So what minor am I going to get? Presence track's going to give me 1. So just kind of want to visualize that. Yeah, unlocking that was pretty big. Just that extra energy gave me a lot of options. All right, so we have 2 with wetlands or water hexes. Dire Metamorphosis is a really, really strong card. I find it a little hard to pull off in a true solo game, but I really do like it. The wilds can be really helpful. I mean, it's something to think about. We know the next card is coastal, right? So that is all of a sudden the thing. So I'm gonna want to try to isolate. Yeah, so a card that costs 0 is probably my best friend right now. Terror turns into madness is turning a town into a Dahan could be huge. It's a slow power. Oh, why do I like that so much? Because it's amazing, Greg. Because it's amazing. All right, cool. We're gonna do that and that. So this is the growth option for this turn. I've gained Call of the Dahan Ways. I have no Dahan there. Oh, it's wrapped. Ooh, even better. Even better. So how many? I only have 2. I'm going to have 4 waters if I play everything. Call to Isolation would have been great. I still have to move 2. I'm going to have 4 waters because I don't think I can play Call to Isolation here. I don't think that's going to make much sense because I only have 2 card plays. So one of them is going to be Confounding Mists. This is going to get a Blight. Still have to move 2 presents. I won't have 2 moons, so Call of the Dahan Ways isn't going to be that great for me this turn. Well, in the future, it's called potential. Alright, I think I move 1 presence from land 2 on board E to land 4 on board B. 1 presence from land 3 on board E to land 4 on board B. I'm going to play these 2 cards. Isolate that. Isolate that. Won't be isolating 3, but I think it still makes some sense. Yeah, I don't isolate anything on this board, and I can put an Explorer in land 2. So it'd be town, Explorer. So the Coastal Lands card, when you're playing with Downpour, it's only twice per board when Coastal Lands comes out. 3 is weird because I wish I had 1 more damage in land 3. But I have a Fear card and hopefully the event card. If I can do 1 damage, I could totally wipe 3 out. And then when Explorer's a town will enter in. Otherwise, it's going to, if I wipe out the city, it's going to rebuild another city right away, and then the town's going to explore anyway. So it's like, that's a weird combo. It's a very weird combo. But all right, here we go. So I have Confounding Mists and Dark Skies, loose a Stinging Rain. I'm going to defend 4 in land 3. I'm not going to do the mud thing because I have no presence here anyway. So that mud thing would be the worst idea I've ever had. If I can get a Dahan into here, that would kill this guy in the Ravage. So hopefully, again, the event card or the Fear card hooks me up with one of those things. Either getting rid of this Explorer or getting 1 damage on a town and a city there. We'll see. So that's done. Now I'm going to isolate land 2. It's 1 away from where I have a wetland. Again, Sacred Site's a wetland. And actually, let me do it this way. Oh, even better. So I'm going to isolate land 1. I pushed an Explorer up to 2 Dahan. I'm going to use one of these to get an energy. I'm going to use this energy to replay that power and reuse that power. I'm going to isolate land 2, push it to Dahan. So now I have 3 Dahan there, and that will wipe out everything and take care of all my problems. Wow.
Things are going too well. It's gonna not.
This isn't going to last, kids. Something's going to happen. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to get really bad. All right, so what are we doing? We're going to the... So I'm going to ignore... I don't have another plant. I'm ignoring all of my innates. We're going to the event card. Don't do it to me. All right, for the... you're the worst. Wow. Well, give it and take it away. For the rest of this turn, towns and cities have +1 health. Tight-knit communities. Prey on the unwary. Each beast destroys... Oh, if this beast wasn't forced to move. Beast prowl. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. Add 1 beast to a board without 1. And then coming of age, add 1 Dahan to a coastal land with Dahan. Beautiful. So it's going to take care of that anyway. And then there's nothing here. All right, that's fine. Done. Event card. Let me get rid of a lone explorer in land 6. Oh, defend 2 in all lands with presence. Even belief takes root. That's even like less helpful. Fine. Let's do it. Ravaging. We're ravaging a land 1. That's a blight. Ravaging land 4, that's ravaging 5 and injured to Dahan. The Dahan fight back 8, which is enough to destroy both the city and the town, even though this has 4 health and this has 3. So that is 3 fear. So that's remainder of 1. And that worked out really well. Building. We are not building anywhere on board B. So I can take this defend die off. We're building in board land 6. I put a town there. We're building a city in land 1. We're exploring. Lo and behold, coastal lands. Isolate, town, and then we got town, explore town. And it could be an argument to put the town and the explorer here. That way you try to reduce sources, but like, it just, we're in this place where I think that just makes the most sense. This won't build. We won't have to worry about 2 at all. We can kind of focus our efforts elsewhere, right? Invader cards advanced. I have no slow powers. Still 4 away from terror level 2. And I have no money. What could go wrong? All right, this comes off. So I'm in my growth option. If I get the deal to play 3 cards, is it gonna? I do have 2 cards that I can play. I'm worried about this. This blight cascade is looking pretty darn unavoidable. I think I let 3 blight, and it will blight, and just everything else will wrap it up. Don't think I can play Foundation Sink and then a mud this turn. I think I can gather a bunch of money for next turn. I'm only gonna get this 1 energy from the presence track. Unless I do that, but I don't think that's the right play. I think getting 3 card plays out is actually what I want to do. Oh, and I'll have 6 again anyway. I will have 6. I think that math works. So basically just playing what I can afford. It is what it is. Don't play over your head, kids. Play what you can afford. All right, so I'm going to take these 2 presents off. I have 3 card plays. This is going to cost me the 1. So now I'm going to kind of figure out the rest of my growth stuff. I'm doing this. I have to discard 2 cards. 2 cards left in my hand. And let me figure out how I can make this work the most. I can move 2 presents, 1 each, because of my card play track. Let me figure out my elements. I have 3 air. I have 6 water, 2 from the cards, 2 from my tracks, and 2 from the growth option. And 1 earth and 2 plants. 1 from my card and 1 from the tracks. That's going to give me, if I have 1, oh, no, I only have 1 earth. That's fine. So it's going to give me level 1 and 2 of water nourishes life's growth again. Oh, can just remove that blight. That's interesting and very tempting. And I have both of the top 2 levels of rain and mud suppress conflict. And I can add 2 presents and move 2 presents. This is ravaging. No, it's not ravaging. I'm lying. Not doing anything. I do that to gain 2 energy. Prevent a bunch of blight there. Let me take the isolate tokens off. What would I want to isolate this turn? We'll probably isolate 7. All right, I'm going to move 1 of these presents into here. And rain and mud suppress conflict, I will just kind of have active. I'm going to move this energy here. So I've used both my movement. I can add energy places, or add presence places. I'm going to have 3 repeats. I might be able to prevent that city from building, which is sick. I will add, I can add them pretty much anywhere. This is only push a Dahan. Fine, I'm gonna add a presence there, and I'll make this a wetland. All right, so if I'm gonna do both levels of rain and mud suppress conflict, which I might actually not even want to do. I might just ignore that again. Might ignore it again. The level 2 card we know is either gonna be wetland or mountain. And it's the last level 2 cards, the last time we have to worry about the escalation, which is good. I'm going to do call to isolation. I'm going to push this Dahan into here. I'm going to repeat call to isolation. I'm going to push this town into land 5. 2 more repeats. All right, so I changed my mind. I'm not as worried about making this a wetland. I mean, if it was a wetland, I could isolate it with Unbearable Deluge. Oh. Gift of Abundance. Target spirit. I'm going to do this. Gift of Abundance. Target spirit either. No. Still not going to work. I literally have no presence in wetlands anywhere. Nah, I'm gonna make this have that. I'm gonna ignore rain and mud suppress conflict again because it's just not helpful. So I'm going to do Unbearable Deluge. I'm going to generate a fear targeting land 3 on board B, pushing 2 Dahan, defending 3, and it's not a wetland, so it's not isolated. Then, oh wait, I'm gonna do it backwards. Put this here. I'm going to target land 6 on board E, push 2 Dahan, there are none. I generated the fear. Then I'm going to do this to do it again. I'm going to defend 3 on board B, pushing 2 Dahan now. Where, so guess where I'm pushing them? Oh yeah, right there. So that works out well. And then we have target spirit just going to gain 2 energy. And I can do another power. Don't think I want to. Again, I have no wetlands, so there's nothing to isolate. I think this will work. And then I'm going to do water nourishes life's growth. I'm going to, first level, I gain an energy. I'm going to remove my presence to remove a blight that goes on the blight card. Then I'm going to get another energy. And I can gather a Dahan, up to 1 Dahan. I do not want to. So that's done. And now I'm going to use this last energy. Doesn't make sense to repeat. Oh, and yeah, when I repeated this power, when I repeated Unbearable Deluge, I should get another fear. So I should be up to 3. I mean, I could repeat it just to get another fear, but I think at this point, energy is always my friend. I'm going to use this just to get the energy. Energy is my friend. I love it. All right, reclaiming cards. I'm at the point that I think about getting a major next turn. So, event card, Terra level 1 still. Add an explorer to a land without invaders or Dahan on each board. So, that's only land 4 on this board. And I'm going to put in land 4 on that board. And you'll see why. Prey on the Unwary. Each beast destroys an explorer. That explorer was not very long lived. And each bear with at least 3 Dahan among its lands, which is me, may use a slow power now. Well, that's cute. I do not have any slow powers. Fear card, Terra level 1. Be better. Each player adds a strife in a land with or adjacent to a beast. There's only 1 player's. That would be me. I will add this strife in land 3 or 7. It's like 3, just very different. And now we do the invader steps. We're adding a blight back into land 1. We are ravaging over here. Defended 4. Retaliate. Fear. Or defended 3, I mean. Retaliate. Fear. Fear card. Definitely, again, rain and mud suppress conflict can be very problematic in those contests. So I really like that Dahan Retaliate. Was not augmented at all. And then we have Terra level 2 moves over there, which is great. We're now going to build coastal lands. Nothing, nothing, nothing. We're building a town or a city in land 1. This is not adjacent to a city somehow. And this disease comes off land 2. Exploring. Of course it's a wetland.
Of course it's a wetland. Why wouldn't it be?
All right, escalator. I have to add a town to a land that has no towns. I'm going to add this town. Do not want to add it in 3 because we're ravaging coastal lands. I'll add it in 6. That's fine. And then we're going to add we're going to explore. We're exploring up here. Now, before the step, there was no source for 6. And we're going to add an explore in land 4. I almost put a town. It's like, no, that's not that's not coastal. Now we put an explorer in land 8. Invader cards advance. Time passes. I'm going to reset all these tokens. Spent this energy. Yeah, see, like, Call to Isolation doesn't have the water, but there's that being able to repeat that a couple of times for free has been really, really big. I'm doing growth option 1. No isolate tokens on the board. That's fine. I have 5 energy. I think it's time to more worry about using Deluge. Saying I can move 3 presents, which is really nice. I think I get another minor. Yeah, I get another minor, and I just worry about if I can use this Unbearable Deluge, wipe out everything in 1. Puts me in a pretty strong spot. All right, so we're going to do minor powers. Again, I'm going to have 6 waters again, so I might as well do the Call to Isolation. Oh, nice. Song of Sanctity. If target land has explorers, push all explorers, otherwise remove a blight. Not that great. Poison Dew. Get another explorer power. Cycles of Time and Tide. If there are Dahan, add a Dahan. If there are no Dahan, remove a blight. And that's fast. All right, Cycles of Times and Tide, it wins. Or this turn, this target spirit may use 1 slow power if we're fast. Oh, are you kidding me? Wow. So Skyscraper's Shore literally allows me to use a slow power if it's fast, and then it changes the essence of the card, so the whole power is fast for like the rest of the turn, which is really sick. So I get 3 repeats, which totally changes this game. That's just nutty. So Sky's Register, this is going to go here. I'm going to use that to move that. I'm going to move this here with this, and I can move this here with this. And remember, we only have stage 3 cards now. So at this point, we really got to start wrapping this thing up because it's not going to have much ability to do things here. So we have Foundation Sink into the Mud. Sky Stretches to Shore. What is my 3rd card of awesomeness? My 3rd card of awesomeness is... 3rd card will be... So I could actually get 7. Oh, can I get 7, 2, 3? No, I can't get 7, 2, 3. But I probably do want to get Water Nourish. That extra energy is so sick. All right, Gift of Abundance. So I'm going to get 3 energy. I'm going to make change for a 3. I'm going to do 1, 1, 1. And my elements are, I have 2 air, I have 7 water, no, 5 water. It's like 6 and 7, it's just totally different. Oh, that changes something. I only have 5 water, so I can only repeat. I'm only gonna get 2 of these. What's building? Well, that's gonna build a city, that's the problem. I'm gonna do call the Dahan ways instead. I'll be able to turn that explorer into a town. This town, do I only have 1? Shoot, I only have 1 moon. I only have 1 moon. Nah, this still makes the most sense. I'll have the fear cards, and I'll be actually generating a ton of fear, so these fear cards should actually help me out a little bit. A wee bit. And then I can do a whole bunch of rain and mud suppress conflict next turn. But I put, oh yeah, so that presence there will be nice, because I'll prevent the blight there. Alright, so 2, 5, 2, 2. Alright, so it gives me the top 2 levels of Water Nourishes Life's Growth. And so I have the top 2 levels of that, and I have the top 2 levels of Rain and Mud Suppress Conflict. So I'm going to do that. That's going to give me a Defend 2 up in Land 1. So we're going to do Sky Stretches to Shore. I'm going to turn 1 slow power fast. I'm going to make Foundations sink into the mud. A fast power, that's going to be a fast power all turn. Before I do that, I'm going to gain 2 energy. Oh, I can repeat a power paying its cost. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to do this. I'm going to Water Nourishes Life's Growth. I'm going to gain I'm going to target land 1. Yeah, I'm not worried about the blight right now. I'm just going to get 2 energy, 1 and 2. I'm going to repeat Foundation Sink into the mud twice. It's fast on all its repeat uses. So there's 2 energy and the 2 plays. I'm going to now target land 1. I'm doing that 3 times. It is a wetland because I have a sacred site there. So all 3 of these cities are destroyed. All 3 of these towns are destroyed. That is a total of 6, 9 fear. All right, so that's a fear card and a remainder of 4. And then I'm going to do Gift of Abundance. I'm going to pay the cost again to repeat 1 power card, paying its cost. I'm going to do 2 damage up here, prevent that from building a city. Gives me another fear card. And either you or target spirit may add 1 of your destroyed presence to a wetland where you have presence. We're going to get a sacred site in land 1. So that is a really nice sequence. So all that in the fast power phase. We have 1 city left on the board and no cities building. So event card, Numinous Crisis, remove 1. Nope, this is just not happening. I get to forget 2 power cards, return 1 of their presence to the tracks. I'm going to put 2 back out. Yeah, so Numinous Crisis, I can remove Blight. I basically take these out. I can get 6 energy, and that's just not worth it. So I can pay 3 energy, forget 2 power cards, return a presence to my track. Don't want to forget power cards, because then I won't be able to do that option next turn. I still think that's my best option. Yeah, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to return a presence to my track. I'll return that destroyed presence and I'll put it over the plant. I don't need the plant right now anyway, and I'm going to uncover that. So I'm just going to lose the air. I'll lose it's going to cost me an energy and an air element next turn, but that's not a big deal. And then I add 1 blight per spirit to the blight card. Perfect. 1 fear per board with disease. That's 2 fear. 2 damage to Dahan in a land with disease. So one of these Dahan didn't make it. Sorry. Careful defense. When invaders ravage of its land has Dahan, defend 2. That's not per Dahan. That's careful defense, so that is total, but it doesn't apply. We have 3 fear cards. We're doing terror level 2, so we're finally up to there. Demoralize, defend 2 on all lands. Pointless. Mimic the Dahan. Each player replaces 1 explorer town with 1 Dahan in a land with 2 or more Dahan. 1 explorer town with 1 Dahan in a land with 2 or more Dahan. This explorer becomes a Dahan. That's nice. So that won't build a town, so we just have to worry about that next turn for ravage purposes. And then Dahan attack. Each player chooses a different land with Dahan. 1 damage per Dahan there. I wish this guy didn't. If I had 4 there, I'd just wipe out 2 of those towns. That'd make the most sense, but that's fine. I'll clear out land 6. And that was a town that was put based on, remember, the stage 2 escalation, which we don't have to worry about anymore. And that's done. So again, sometimes like land, by the time you get through those escalations, sometimes those stage 3 cards are like, thank you. Like, I'm so good. I will take this stage 3. All right, now what's happening? So coastal lands are ravaging. Totally good. We're building. We're only building in land 4. This could come off. And then we are doing that. We are getting a town in land 3, a town in land 1. So that's rough. So it's jungles and sands. And we get a town and land. So town and 3 on board B, a town and land 3 on board E, a town and land 1. So I did the coastal lands first. There was no source before the step in 4, 5, or 8. So now we just have to worry about 6 and 7. They both get 1 town. And part of me, because when all that builds, don't forget, we're making city, we're making city, we're making a city. And only that's ravaging. Part of me is wondering if I just reclaim, but I am going to need to recoup some money. So that was an expensive turn. I reclaim and gain a power card. We're still 10 fear away. I think I figure out a way to deal with these 3 towns and try to make sure they don't have to become cities. And then I'll do the fast thing again next turn, and I can blow up everything in land 7. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go. All right, so these come off. I'm only going to be able to move 2 this turn. I'm going to do growth option 2. These come off, right, because even the plant's covered up. So I reclaim. I'm not going to be able to get those 2 energy either, so this makes a lot more sense. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waters just from those 5, and then we'll see. So if I get a water in all my power cards, then I'll have 8. So I'll have 4 repeats, but I might just do the 7. I might just draw the 7. I'm going to get 1 energy from the presence track. Nice and broke again. So one of these suckers is going to need to have no energy. And so I add. So I'm adding 2 and I'm moving 2. If I repeat this 3 times, I just push both of those suckers. I repeat it 4 times, I can push all those towns. So call to isolation coming in big. Super big. Super big. I get to defend 4 from that, but that's not... Why do that when I can do Unbearable Deluge? That makes more sense. And keep this cheap. And we'll do Dark Skies, Loose a Stinging Rain. I discard 2 cards. We get the energy here. I figure out what I want to do with this presence. Again, I'm kind of mushing the growth option on the presence track for the presence part of this. So we're going to move 2 presence. I'm going to move 1 presence into here, 1 presence into here. I get to place 2 presents. I'm going to place a presence here, and I'm going to place a presence. It doesn't really matter. I'll place a presence here because it's a wetland. Just give me some options. I'm going to do an element check. I have 1, 2, 7 waters. So that's 3 repeats. I have 1 earth. I have no plant. And I have 1 air. All right, I am pushing this town to here using Call to Isolation. I'm pushing this town. I'm going to repeat Call to Isolation, pushing this town to here. And then I'm going to repeat Call to Isolation to push a Dahan into here. Then I'm going to repeat Call to Isolation to push this town into here. You know what? I'm going to push this town into 2. And now I'm going to generate a fear, push 2 Dahan that run on, but I'm defending 3 and land 4. I'm not too worried about getting Dahan in there. Oh, but I can. But I can anyway. Great. Then I'm going to 1 away from where I have presence in a wetland. I'm going to target land 6. So yeah, I guess I didn't really even need that there, but that's fine. I'm going to target land 6, and we're going to push the Explorer. I'm going to push the Explorer into land 7 because I can. I'm going to push these 2 Dahan into land 4. It's only ravaging 4 and defended 3, and we're isolating the target land, so we're isolating this land, and we also isolated this land because this is a wetland, even though I don't have a sacred site. So that was isolated with Unbearable Deluge. So land 4 was isolated with Unbearable Deluge. Land 6 was isolated with Dark Skies, Loose a Stinging Rain. I do not have 2 plants, so I don't get to do that. But the board's going to be really set up for me to do what I need to do next turn and get up to Terra level, do a Terra level 3 victory. All right. So now we're going to the event card, Civic Engagement. Remove 1 strife on each board. If you can't, invaders do +1 damage per land when ravaging lands with cities and towns. I can remove this strife. I think it just does the +1 on that land. Right, so that applies to the board. So I can remove a strife from land 7. So I don't have to worry about that applying here. On this board, Ravagers would do +1. So it does say on each board. So I'm assuming that Civic Engagement only applies to the board. If that's wrong, someone's going to have to tell me. And I'm almost sure that's going to, just the way that's written, on each board, remove them with Strife. If you can't, then Invaders do +1 damage in that board. It'd be weird if I remove the Strife from this board, but then still got the +1 problem, right? So casualties of Fang and Sting, and each board destroy 1 town or explorer in a land with beasts. Great. That generates a fear, so we get another fear card. And then push 3 Dahan from lands with disease to lands without. Fine, I'll push this. So there's disease. There's disease here. I'll just push this here. Cards I can. All right. Done. Fear card, terror level 2. Every player may gather 1 explorer town to a coastal land, defend 2 on all coastal lands. And we may, and I don't. Oh, defend 2 on all coastal lands? Sure. I'll gather this town to the coastal land. I'm defending 2 there. And this will help me in my chase for fear. So we're doing the ravage action. Oh, it's not ravaging there. Never mind. It's not ravaging there. What am I doing? It's building there. So I don't want to do that. That should be an isolate token. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do it. All right, cool. So what's happening? So that card was kind of pointless. Plan for departure, whatever. So ravaging, defended 3, ravaging 4. I mean, if I needed to, if that math's wrong for Civic engagement, I could just move that there. Or I could move it. I could move it there. I mean, it is what it is. I had ways to avoid the Blight Cascade. That's the Dahana retaliating. That's 1 fear. Oh, that's still injured. Doesn't heal yet, Greg. Then we do the building. We're building a town on land 7. Nothing else builds. We're exploring. We're exploring into sands. So we get a town. Mountain, get a town. Mountain, get a town. Sands, get a town. Man, Scotland's rough. Not nary a wetland on the wetland's the only one that I would have missed. Wetland and jungle would be the ideal card because they would miss. I'd only have a couple of coastal lands, but now no source of explorers into 5 or 7, and then there is a source. Well, this 6 is isolated. There is an explorer that goes into 5 on board E. Invader cards advance. Time passes. I get these tokens back. I'm gonna jet that money off. I'm reclaiming my cards. I think I gain a major just for kicks. I need to generate 8 fear. Ugh, that might be harder than I thought. I'll get a major. Something fast. Satiable hunger of the swarm. Add a blight. Add 2 beasts. Gather up to 2 beasts. Each beast deals 1 damage. Or each deals 1 fear, 2 damage to invaders, 2 damage to Dahan. Destroy a beast. That's nice. That's one gate. A lot of fear. Take this just in case I need it for next turn. Try to win in the fast phase next turn. I'm gonna get 1 energy from the presence track. I have to forget a card. I will forget. Call the Dahan Ways. Just never really clicked. And what are we gonna do? I'm gonna take Call to Isolation. Sky Stretches to Shore. No, I can't do that. Gift of Abundance. Not Call to Isolation. Foundations sink into the mud. These are the ones. These are the ones. The chosen ones. I have 6 water, which is going to give me 3 repeats, which is exactly what I need. These go here. This goes here. I can move 3 this turn. I'm going to have to move 1 to here. I need that to be a wetland. Well, that is a disease. Nope, that's not the right card. Oh. So I can't play Gift of Abundance. Do I have another? Oh no. That losing that air is actually going to make a big difference. So I need a free card with a water. Unbreakable Deluge. Why not? Unbearable Deluge. Wow. I don't have the money to play that 3 times. Or just even to replay it twice. I can replay it twice and that's it. This has got stupid. Like Sky, that costs 1, this costs 1. It's ravaging 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I can repeat that 3 times. Now we need 6 more fear. This heals. These isolate tokens come off. I did something very wrong. Huh. Having to put that back on. Is that 1 energy is totally messing with me now. So I don't play Sky Stretches to Shore. I play Gift of Abundance. And then we have to figure this out the hard way. Yeah, I need that energy. I already moved 1 to make that a wetland. We have 6. I have 2 earth. I need that earth to make this work. You need that plant to make that work. I have 2 earth from my cards. I have 1 air. We're ravaging here. Oh yeah, so if I do the mud thing, the mud thing. If I do the mud thing, that's fine. So I have the 2 levels here. I have these 2 levels here. This isn't going to build. This guy will die during the ravage. Right, so I'm going to do... I still have 2 more of these I can use. So I'm going to do this. So I have a defend 2 here. Each of my presents is going to be a defend 2. Right, so that's just going to be a defend 2. I can move this presence into here with this. And now it'll be a defend 2. But obviously the counterattack's going to be reduced by 2 as well. Not to forget that. And then we should be good. I'm going to do Ward on Norwich's Life Growth on land 7. Well, not yet. I'm going to gain... I'm going to do Gift of... I still can move 1. I'll figure... Again, I'm mushing this all together because it just makes it a lot easier for me. Target Spirit, I'm going to gain 2 energy. I can repeat a power card. No, I need the 2 energy. Then I'm going to add... I can add a Destroyed Presence to a wetland. That's a wetland for my powers, thanks to Drench the Landscape. And then, now I'm going to do Ward on Norwich's Life Growth. I'm going to gain an energy. I'm going to remove a Blight by removing one of my presents. I gain... That goes back in the Healthy Island card. And then I'm going to gain another energy, and I can gather a Dahan. I don't want to, so that's fine. This might build a city, which is the only thing. But if it builds a city, I can wipe that out in the fast power phase next turn. All right, so then we're going to do Unbearable Deluge. So this is defended 4. It's ravaging 9. I'm going to repeat this power twice there. And what that's going to do is give me 2 fear, defend 6, so we're defending a total of 10. Again, 6 from the card, 4 from rain and mud, suppress conflict. And that is plenty. All right, so we're set for the ravage this turn, and that's good. And then I have 2 more repeats, which I'm going to use on Foundation Sink into the Mud in the slow power phase. So I'll just kind of put this money here and here, because I know what I'm doing with that. Awesome. All right, we're going to do the event card. Terra level 2, Blood Healthy Island. The next Explorer card matches all lands without towns or cities instead of the printed land type. Ignore any escalation. So that's fine. That's a card I used to interpret wrong. So it still matches it still matches the printed land type as long as there's no towns or cities. So, but that will work. So not a bad Healthy Island card for sure. Put that there and that there. Choose a land with disease. 2 damage to Dahan and 2 damage to invaders. So Grim Toll. So I like the ones that do damage to invaders too. Thank you. So on each board, so 2 damage to invaders there, 2 damage to invaders there. That's 2 fear. That's a fear card. That could be a very significant 2 fear. And then each spirit with at least 2 Dahang minus lands can reclaim a power card or regains a unique power it previously forgot. I just reclaimed my cards, so it doesn't apply, and I never forgot a unique power. So that doesn't help. We go to Terra level 2. Each player adds 2 strife in a single land not matching a ravage card. I don't care. Sure, I will add both of them to here because I can. It's going to build a city, of course. That's right. We already talked about this. I got that figured out. I'm on it. Each player to a single... Right. So we're on Terra level... So Nerves Fray. We only had Terra level 2. And now we're ravaging. Defended 10. Nothing else is ravaged. I'm defended 2, but the Han counterattack is reduced. Defended 2, the Han counterattack is reduced, but it's still doing 2 damage, destroys that town. Now we're building. We're building in sands. Nothing to build, nothing to build, nothing to build. Oh, it is going to build there. Shoot. Building a city here. Oh, that's stupid. That's so dumb. What is happening? What is happening? Those elements, but oh shoot. Building a city there, building a city inland 2. Get a bunch of strife there. This disease comes off land 5. Not building here, not adjacent to a city here, nothing to build there. This disease comes off land 2. Explore step, again, it's not matching mountains and jungles, it's matching all lands that do not have a city or town. So we're successfully do a 1 by 1. City or town, explore. We get an explorer here, we get an explorer here, and we get an explorer here. This card's really brutal against Scotland. We get a town. We get a town. We get an explorer. We get an explorer. There was no source to 7 before the explore step. Oh, there was no source. There was a town. There was no source to 6 before the explore step. Yeah, so that's it. There was no source to 6 before the explore step, no source to 7 before the explore step, and no source to 5 before the explore step, and obviously 8 as well. So that's fine. Invader cards advance. These come off. I'm going to repeat this power. I'm wiping out everything in land 7. So I've done it 3 times. Well, I guess I'm wiping out all the cities and towns in land 7. The explorers stay. So that actually could cause a blight. That's 4 fear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fear card. Terror level 3. We are 2 cities away. All right, time passes. Very money poor. Definitely playing Insatiable Hunger. Yeah, so I have to do this. I have 1 card that costs 0. Ugh. And it's called the Isolation for the win. I will have 6 waters though. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I won't have an Earth, however. Man, this is getting jammed up on that thing. So anyways, I get 2 energy from the presence track. I'm playing Insatiable Hunger. If I get 3 Dahan into there, kills 1, retaliate, I win after that Ravage step. Alright, so I'm playing these 2 cards, all I can afford. I still have 6 waters, and I have 2 air. I have no earth. I have 2 plant. Oh, that's really nice. Alright, I can move up to 2, and I'm going to add 2 presence on the board. Oh, I actually have 3 air, which doesn't really matter, but you know. I do not have if I had 1 earth, I could remove a blight, which would make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to add 2 presence here. I'm going to move presence. I'm going to move, this can come off. Each of those presents is going to be defend 1 because of rain and mud suppress conflict. I have 1 power I can repeat 3 times. I'm going to push. I'm going to target this land, targeting land 1 to pushing into Han, targeting land 3, I'm pushing into Han, targeting land 4, I'm pushing into Han, and targeting land 5, I'm pushing into Han. So I did the power once and I repeated it 3 times. Again, I have 4 waters on my tracks and 1 from the growth option, which is silly. I'm going to target land 1. Oh, I'm adding a blight. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm adding a blight and a cascade. 1, and if I get a thing that they don't ravage in lands or strife, I'm gonna be so upset. It's just really, really upset. So that's blight and cascade. I'm adding 2 beasts. I'm gathering 2 beasts, or gathering up to 2 beasts. I only have 1 nearby. Each beast gives me 1 fear, does 2 damage each, and 2 damage to Han. There are no Dahan left in land 1, so we're wiping out that city and the town, which is 3 more fear, so 2 down, remainder of 1. And if I had more animal tags, I'd be able to do that again. But then I also have I have the first level of Water Nourishes Life's Growth. I'm just going to gain an energy, and I have no presence in a land with blight. Oh, I do. Sure, I'm going to gain an energy, and then I'm going to remove this blight by removing my presence just to make sure nothing wonky goes on. I'm going to make sure that card stays face up. At least that's my goal. Event card. What do we get? Healthy Island. On an inland land, on each board, replace 1 explorer with a town on each board. So this explorer becomes a town, and this explorer becomes a town. Oh my lord. Invaders do not ravage in lands with strife. Stricken. I just... Wow. Wow, the strife's not even on the city. It's so stupid. Alright. Drive off the interlopers. Each player may push 1 explorer or town from a land with the Han. I'm gonna try to backdoor this. So if I can get rid of that 1 stupid explorer with strife, then I'll be able to do what I want to do anyway. How do I pull this card like every time, man? It's every time I don't want it. It's like, oh! I play with Trickster. I think I got all those suckers. All right, so I have 2 fear cards. Hopefully one of them lets me do what I want to do anyway. Each player moves an invader from a land with 2 or fewer invaders. Thank you. Thank you. I'm moving this measly little explorer. Bye-bye. That's isolation, and then immigration. Slow, shift the next build. Wow, so I really was down to that 1 explorer changing the world. Immigration slow, skip the next normal build. Build card, shift left as usual. We're ravaging. I'm going to choose to ravage there first. It's ravaging 3. I'm defended 2. I take 1 injury. My Dahan counterattack is reduced. It goes from a 6 down to a 4, but that's enough to kill that city. 2 fear. No more cities. We evaluate at the end of the action. Do not have to complete the step. And we have done it, folks. We have hopefully done it without breaking any rules this time, which I know I'm so naive every time I say it. But that was super fun. Downpour super nuts. I'm sure I could have done that a turn earlier had I made a decision, if I had I seen something different. But it's so like the double board is so thinky. There's so much happening. The elements really just worked really well. This call isolation card, for a card without a water, for that to be that useful in this playthrough as Downpour was very, very unexpected. Sky stretches ashore. I was really only able to take advantage of that trick the once. I was like, man, I could do it the second time, but I probably, I don't know what I did the turn before. I guess I could have just turned one of these little tokens into an energy, and I would have been able to do it, the turn before. But I would have been I don't know where my fear would have been. I might not have had enough fear to be at Terror level 3 yet at that point. But that was super nuts. I'm literally moving a town and an explorer off of the land just so I can win on that turn. It gets ugly if I don't win there, right? I mean, Blight Cascade, so that's 3 Blight, 4 Blight. So we do go Blighted Island, and the card would have been Disintegrating Ecosystem. That's not awful. There'd been 10 Blight on there. So yeah, we probably would have still been very comfortable. We would have had more. We'd had a city. So we had that situation going on. So that's a thing we would have had to worry about. But that's a cool matchup. That's a really fun challenge. I definitely would recommend messing around with this double board. I'm curious what other spirits I think would be really good at it. I thought it was very interesting with Fractured Days. I think it's really good. It's probably good with Finder. It's probably good with Downpour. I mean, I think it's really good with Downpour. I mean, just all that moving presence. It's a lot of decisions. It's really, I don't like merging. I do like, especially for these videos, going through my growth options and then picking up and then doing my card plays. There's just too much to process. Where again, I end up reverse engineering my turn a lot, where it's like, all right, I know I want to play these cards. What's the best way to make sure I play those 2 cards, right? So it's especially when you're like discarding 2. So it's like, I know I need these cards, so I can discard those 2, and these are the 2 I have remaining. Obviously, yeah, it's weird. I mean, I had 3 card plays, and I could only play 2 that last turn. That would have been really, really unfortunate if I didn't get rid of that. And I put that there so willy-nilly too. I was like, Strife, who cares? Like, whatever, I'll just put it there. And no, that is not correct. That is not the right choice. You made a bad choice. Do not put it anywhere where you might want them to ravage, ever, is the lesson that I keep learning. But again, I'll tell you what, like, those cards are just like the kryptonite to Trickster. I just don't even understand like why it's fair. But it is what it is. Keep you on your toes, man. I know people hate the events. I can't go back to playing without them. They just they give me those moments where I'm like, like, otherwise, it's just so mechanical and so what's the word, deterministic, and that's great if that's what you want. That's totally great, and that's where games like City of Kings and stuff like that are just great for people. I want a little bit more randomness, a little bit more pain. Bring the pain, let me feel it all. All right, I'm getting loopy. It's what happens when you pour over a double board thing for 2 hours now. Looking forward to getting this edited and on the channel. As always, likes, comments, epiphanies, please bring them all. I like them all. I will obviously reply to everything I can. Something you saw I missed, just definitely let me know. I never take it personal unless you're a total jerk. Then I might take it a little personal and then I'll get over it. But yeah, just whatever. I mean, I appreciate everyone looking out. Keep me honest. Someone needs to do it around here. So if it's not you guys, I don't know who's gonna do it. But we'll be back. I'm not sure what's next for Spirit Island in the immediate future. Again, I'm gonna do a strength versus strength series. I know that. I think Wildfire Habsburg 5 is around the corner. I don't know. Just happy to revisit the double board and give people a chance to see it played the way it was intended. And as always, if you want to see what's coming up in Solo Playthroughs Land, you can go on my Patreon page. There is a link in the description below. I have a public schedule I put up at the end of every month. that gives you a list for the upcoming months. It gives you a list of what's coming up. So you can mark your calendars accordingly. And until next time, whenever that is, thanks for joining me and happy gaming.